So my friends, we are just going to start the class again, and you know, we have almost started a tradition. Whenever you are going to start, we always start with the 5 questions. But today also, you are supposed to deal with the 5 multiple choice questions. This is the first one. Go through it. Be fun. Which of the following were the provisions of the subsidiary lines? Point 1. A British regiment was to be placed in the concerned state. 2. A British regiment was to be stationed in the concerned state. Point 3. The military expenses were to be borne by the concerned state. Point 4. The company was to be consulted. The company was to be consulted. The company was to be consulted in the matter of appointment of officers in the concerned state. There are the total 4 statements. Put A, 2, 3 and 4, B, 1, 2 and 3, C, 1, 2 and 4, D, 1 and 4. So my friends, be fast and try to answer the question. Yeah? B for Bombay. Yes. Correct answer. My friends, you have selected the right choice. This is commendable. In question number 2, during the second half of 18th century, the British didn't take any measure to reform traditional social structure of India. Which of the following regions were responsible for this? Point 1. The British company didn't have any interest in carrying out social reforms. Point 2. Interference in the social system could cause discontent among the masses. And point 3. The British company required permission of the British Parliament to carry out any social reform. Even this question is directly from UPSC. Put choice A, 1 only, B, 2 only, C, 1 and 2, and D, 1, 2 and 3. Be fast, my friends, and try to answer the question. Most of the friends are selecting C. Yes, definitely. C is the correct answer. You have done extremely well. It is a matter of great rejoice for me. Question number 3. Which of the following factors were emphasized by the Orientalist? Orientalist emphasized which factor? My friends, in yesterday's class, I have left just on the topic of Orientalism. Although some of the issues are still, to be discussed with you. We have not discussed all the topics, all the aspects, all the dimensions yesterday. Today I finished this topic, but still I have left one question from same Orientalism. So please, you people have to try to answer the question. Which of the following factors were emphasized by the Orientalist? Point 1. The British officers working in India should be aware of the Indian past and culture. 2. Indians should have adequate knowledge of both indigenous as well as the Western societies. Point 3. Indians should develop a sense of pride towards their culture. Twice A, 1 only, B, 1 and 2, C, 2 and 3, and D, 1, 2 and 3. Be fast, my friends. Yes, brilliant student. You people are brilliant, definitely. 1 is the exact answer. Because even this choice is wrong, that choice is wrong. 2 and 3. Only A is the correct answer. Question number 4. Which of the following factors inspired the Cornwallis Permanent Settlement? Point 1. To ensure investment in Indian trade. Point 2. To facilitate collection of merchandise goods for export. Point 3. To strengthen the position of Jamindars in Bengal. Go through, my friend, be fast. For Bombay? Okay. That is the correct answer. Today you people have done extremely well. Look, I can't express with my words what a matter of rejoice for me. Yes, sir, and this is the last one question. You people have actually chosen the 4 out of 4 correct choice. This is the 5th one. Even if you are going to choose the correct choice here, all the 5 questions will be correct today. Yes, sir. After 1793, the British government didn't extend permanent settlement in any other part of India. After 1793. Reasoning. The British government was intended to protect the regions from exploitation of Jamindars. So my friends, go through it. Be fast. Go more and more. Please. Let them be fast. But now. Okay. Yes. This is the correct answer. Commendable. Quite commendable for today. My friends, a special congratulations from my side for selecting all the 5 correct choices. So my friends, the 5 questions are correct now. I am returning to my topic. But yesterday, I have left one issue on the dot with you. I have just left a question. But my question was not still answered. In the meantime, the message was stopped. And due to stoppage of the message and the lack of communication with you people, I could not understand what is your exact response in this question. What is the exact response? My question is still lying the question at the same point. This Orientalism, which was having the great fascination for Indian past and culture, but basically guided by British interest or Indian interest. Or Orientalists were sympathizers of Indians, where the Orientalists nourishing the great respect for Indian past and culture, and they were basically guided by Indian interest or the British colonial interest. My friend, be fast, answer my question. British or Indian? Only the 2 choices were having. Tell me. British. Yes. Yesterday, this point was unresolved because I could not get your response, so actually, I was left myself guessing because you were so brilliant, you might have given the answer. British. Indians or British? Yes. Now I'm returning to the topic. Yesterday, this one. Which one go today? Right? Yes. Actually, yesterday I have left this Orientalism on this point. Orientalism was basically a cultural attitude, cultural philosophy of the time. And the British tried to establish that the British officers who were working in India and the British scholars should have a special knowledge about Indian past and culture. And they were having a great respectivity for Indian past and culture. And here Orientalism implied the inculcating of interest into the study and exploration of Indian past and culture. And it was having the four aspects. मैंने आपको बताया कि वो इंडियन पास्ट एंड कल्चर की स्टडी में विशेष इंटरेस्ट रखते थे, इंडिया के अतीत को बहुत तारीफ करते थे, और जिसे आप ओरिएंटलिज्म का जो हिंदी में उसको प्राच्यवाद कहा जाता है, और प्राच्यवाद के ये चार एस्पेक्ट थे. ओरिएंटलिज्म वाज हैविंग द फोर डायमेंशंस. Foundation of Asiatic Society of Bengal, foundation of educational institutions Calcutta Madrasa by Warren Hastings, and Sanskrit College of in 1791 by Jonathan Duncan. Then codification of Hindu and Muslim laws, which were done under Warren Hastings, and foundation of Fort William College in 1801. Their initiative was taken by whom? Their initiative was taken by, Lord Wellesley, but later Court of Directors just banned it. So the same college was established at Hailbury in London, which is just the precursor to the existing Lavasna in Missouri. So this was the fourth one. Now my friends, here the question is, I myself have taught you, the British were basically guided by a colonial interest. Even the British were taking some smile, even his smile was having some colonial content. The British अगर हिंदुस्तान में मुस्कुराए भी, तो मुस्कुराहट के पीछे कोई ना कोई colonial interest, कोई ना कोई औपनिवेशिक हित था. तो ब्रिटिश आखिर हमारे पास्ट एंड कल्चर को इतना क्रेज कर रहे हैं, हमारे पास्ट एंड कल्चर का स्टडी कर रहे हैं, हमारे एंशिएंट टेक्स्ट को, हमारे जो प्राचीन ग्रंथ है उसको खोज रहे हैं, एक्सप्लोर कर रहे हैं. So they are doing such a great job for us. What was the motive behind that? What were the factors behind that? As the first factor I mentioned you, actually they were having little interest in bringing reforms in India because their objective was very limited, and objective was maximize the collection of revenue, and a substantial part of the revenue, had to be invested in trade and commerce. So the British was having the limited, very limited objective. So British company was not interested in bringing reforms in India. For example, I am your teacher, and if I am guided by the interest, you should be taught less, and I should teach you in a very limited manner. So I just try to propagate an ideology or impose an ideology on you people. The teacher is the best who teaches the least. सबसे अच्छा टीचर वो है जो सबसे कम पढ़ाता है. So my friend, here you can see that this ideology is guided by my own personal interest. So likewise, the British who were propagating this Orientalist ideology. So basically, their Orientalist ideology was guided by their own colonial interest. The first of all, they were having the little interest in bringing reforms in India. That is the first factor. Second one factor was basically they tried to legitimize the British rule in India. Legitimize means कि the British शासन को वैधता प्रदान करना चाहते थे, उसको लीगलाइज करना चाहते थे. तो ये दिखाना चाहते थे, देखो भाई हम जो इंडिया में रूल कर रहे हैं, तो हमारे रूल करने का ऑब्जेक्टिव है कि हम आपको जो अपने पास्ट ग्लोरी की तरफ ले जाए. मतलब they have just tried to convince you India was having a very rich past, rich culture, and India was having a glorious past. But the middle age of India, what you know as the medieval age, the Muslim India, whom James will prefer to call. So this Muslim India or the middle age of India was declining. It is only under the British supervision, once again, you can return your old past and glorious past again. In this way, the British tried to legitimize their rule on the basis through making a claim that it is under the British rule, India would regain its old glorious past. That is the colonial motive. A third one thing is that is going to harm us, harm India. In what way it was harming India? Actually, they developed the monopoly over explaining Indian past and culture. Means they developed their monopoly over propagating our past and culture. Or sometime we are going to study our past and culture for British bridge. So British bridge means British perspective. They try to teach us about our past, is suited to their interest. And they spread a lot of misconception about Indian past and culture. अब जैसे आप देखिए, आप अपने ग्रेट ग्रैंडफादर को नहीं जानते. सपोज करो मैं बताना शुरू करूँ कि जानते हो आपके ग्रेट ग्रैंडफादर ऐसे थे, वैसे थे, वैसे थे. तो आप अपने ग्रेट ग्रैंडफादर के बारे में उतना ही जानोगे जितना हमने आपको बताने की कोशिश की. So likewise, my friends, the British just try to impart you about our past and culture, and we were supposed to know about our past and culture to the extent the British simply taught us. That is the colonial motive. So my friends, are you clear? So first of all, you can ask me the question, sir, you were teaching at that time the mercantile phase of colonialism. So once again, I am returning to your diagram. Just 1 minute. This is your diagram. And once again, I am repeating my formula. In order to make the scientific study of modern India, divide modern history in 4 parts: the history of 18th century, the history of colonialism, the history of nationalism, and finally, the post-independence era. We have already covered the history of 18th century, and we have entered into the history of colonialism. Even the history of colonialism is to be divided into 3 subparts: the mercantile phase of colonialism, the industrial phase of colonialism, and the financial phase of colonialism. We are just going through the topic mercantile phase of colonialism, and it is likely to be finished now. So my friends, here I have taught you, if whenever you are making the study of colonialism, we will never forget this formula. Colonialism is basically an economic relation. It was basically an economic relation, but it was going to affect the political, social, and cultural structure. So basically, it was and economic relation. What is the economic motive during this mercantile phase? So I have taught you that during this mercantile phase, the actual motive was to maximize the collection of revenue and to invest a major part of revenue in trade. If you are supposed to invest a major part of revenue in trade, the question arises, how do you collect the revenue? अगर आपको अपने राजस्व का मेजर पार्ट ट्रेड में इन्वेस्ट करना है, तो केवल आप अगर रेवेन्यू का राजस्व का कलेक्शन करते वही काफी नहीं, उसको बचाना पड़ेगा और बचाने के लिए आपको अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कम करनी पड़ेगी, आपको अपना बर्डन कम करना होगा. तो माय पॉइंट इज कि एज दे हैव टू कलेक्ट द रेवेन्यू, so simply collection of revenue will not suffice to fulfill their need. They had to preserve the amount of revenue, so they had to shed off many responsibilities. So it was this objective that affected their political policy, administrative policy, social policy, cultural policy. On in political policy, although they were compelled to fight certain wars as well as to annex even some regions, but their avowed objective was to avoid the war and annexation as much as possible. In administrative field, their objective was to maintain the old Mughal structure of administration with certain modification. And if they could bring some modification, they could bring the modification either in revenue system, because the maximization of revenue was the main motive, or the judicial system, because civil justice was intrinsically associated with the revenue administration. So without making reforms into civil justice, you could not make the reforms in revenue administration as well. And once you are making the reforms in civil justice, you will be compelled and you are liable to bring reforms in criminal justice as well. So mainly they brought the reforms, otherwise they maintained the traditional structure. Then in social field, you can say they maintained the old social traditional structure. And my friend, I have not been part to anything further, because you have very smartly solved an important question on Indian society. So that made me confirm you are conceptually clear now. And about the cultural policy, I have discussed about Orientalism. Their basic objective was to promote Indian past and culture, because they were having the little interest in bringing reforms in India, because their colonial motive didn't allow it. Up now, my students study, I have told you, mistakenly in administrative structure, even the Charter Act of 1773 and the Charter Act of 1784 have been attached. Today, you might have received some study material on industrial capitalism. There, I have taken the special care. There, the Charter Act of 1813, that of 1833, and the Charter Act of 1853 should be placed in the end of the document. But there mistakenly it has been attached to the administrative part. So that's why yesterday some of you have raised the issue. This Charter Act of 1773 and that of 1784 have not been dealt with. So today I am going to deal with, this is the last one, the Charter Act of 1773 and that of 1784. Yeah. Yeah, once again. Yeah. Yes, actually, in fact, there were the three hierarchy of courts in criminal justice. In civil justice, the 6 hierarchies. In criminal justice, 3 hierarchies. Actually, the first one hierarchy was the district court. The district court will award death sentence to anybody. So the death sentence had to be met only after the approval from the circuit court. And circuit court was supposed to move at every place twice in a year. Means it will, for every 6 months, it will stay somewhere, make a trial of the cases. After finishing the cases, it had to move to other area. So you can say around the clock, it was around the clock of the year. You can say it was moving from here to region to region, and at least twice visit once in a year. Twice in a year. At every 6 months, it has to make a trial of the cases. So that is called circuit court. In Hindi, that is called Kumakar court. It is moving court. Okay? Both are the same. Actually, peasants were called tenants. They were cultivating the land. So peasants were called tenants. But sometimes tenants, the term is being used even as the subordinate peasants. Subordinate peasants means just like in permanent settlement, you can say they were the tiller of the land, cultivator of the land, but not the owner of the land. So sometimes the term tenant is also used as the subordinate peasants. So it was also case. But normally, this term is being used as a synonym for each other. The peasant and the... Yeah. NCERT book should be given the first priority. And then, my friends, the book from Bipan Chandra, it is really a standard book, but there's too many topics. So after going through the 2 NCERT books, the new NCERT book, you can go through the old NCERT book by Bipan Chandra. So that will help you a lot. Because this Bipan Chandra NCERT book, so that is systematically compiled. So every topic is, it has dealt with almost all the topics in colonialism and nationalism. So you can go through this topic. The army and police both have the different things. Army is just fighting on the border. Army should not be allowed to work as a civilian police unit. But suppose you can say even today, you find in many states, demonstration start against the army. Why? Because army is very tough and you are just established and you can say impose somewhere the army rule. So you find that is going to create a lot of inconveniences for the civilian people, the civilians. So that's why you can say the army is not welcome in a civilian life. What? Feudal. Okay. Feudalism. Who is asking this question? I would say feudalism is a very complicated thing, and that is not concerning with modern history. Even if very honestly I try to make you understand this feudalism, so it will be too much time taking for me. But in some total ROC, simply I am giving the hint. In fact, up to medieval age, there emerged a group of intermediaries between the peasants and the state or the government. So that is known as feudalism. मतलब जो सरकार थी और peasants था, किसान थे, उनके बीच लैंडलॉर्ड्स का एक हायरार्की कायम हो गई और वो peasants को भी एक्सप्लॉइट करती थी और स्टेट को भी कम टैक्स देती थी. तो बीच में जो एक्सप्लॉइटेशन exploitative class जो पैदा हो गया, exploitative class, so that is known as the feudal lords, and whole process of the formation was known as feudalism. The rise of a group of intermediaries between the king and the common people, and the king was not having the direct control over the subject people, but rather you can say it was the intermediary who were collecting the tax, so the whole process was known as feudalism. The spectrum is too much lengthy for you. My friends, why you prefer to go through the spectrum? My friends, if you people have to help yourself, so once again and very seriously I am suggesting you, give me some time. Today, I am going to finish this mercantile phase of colonialism. Then I will do the industrial phase of colonialism. Please give me the time up to the financial phase of colonialism. Then your concept would be clear. Up to this phase, up to financial phase. And moving up to financial phase, you will be much comfortable. And for guidebook, I have told you better to purchase the guidebook. That is the concept capsule, which has been compiled by me, and that is being provided by my own institute. So you people have to purchase this even through online, or you can say where is available, Mr. Ankul? Flipkart, Amazon, everywhere that is available. So purchase one book, and you are just going through firstly go through the mains. Once you will develop the conceptual clarity, then move from topic to topic in prelims. But don't try to consult too many books. It will create a lot of divergence and confusion for you, and that will be ultimately harmful for you. So please take my suggestion and follow me up to financial phase of colonialism. Up to financial phase of colonialism, 50% things will be crystal clear. It is mentioned for the fact that even Marathas, the Marathas used to collect a tax that was known as, Chauth and Sardeshmukhi. And as the central government could not collect the Chauth and Sardeshmukhi at its own because it was, the collection of Chauth and Sardeshmukhi was a very difficult work. So that is not possible through a single authority to collect the tax from such a vast area. So this right of collection of tax was distributed and you can say divided among different Maratha nobles, Maratha Sardars. So the Sardars became powerful and Peshwa was in the center. So Peshwa's position was weak now and the Sardars started to work as an intermediary. That's why the Maratha Confederacy was treated as a feudal structure. This is the reason. No, actually, British would not have the direct control of the land. Even if the British used to collect the revenue, which British earlier tried, even in Rayatwari and Malwa. But in Bengal, the landlords were too much powerful. For example, you can say Warren Hastings. So Warren Hastings just tried to collect the revenue from Bengal at his own earlier. And he started the auctioning system, farming system, he experimented with a lot of things. But Warren Hastings didn't get success before Cornwallis. It is due to the fact in Bengal, the landlord class was very entrenched. मतलब बंगाल में landlord class बहुत powerful था. अगर बंगाल में आप कोई भी system बनाना चाहते तो आपको landlord का active support चाहिए. So actually, my friends, later I will inform you because presently I have taught you simply the permanent settlement. After permanent settlement, then I will teach you in industrial phase because today I have provided you the study material, you will go through it. And then I will inform you in industrial phase I will teach you Rayatwari system and Mahalwari system, and they were established in the different parts. So major factor behind the land revenue system was maximizing the collection of revenue. So maximization of revenue was the first objective. But the second objective was to deal with the local elements because if the local elements are powerful, for example in Bengal you cannot survive without the support of landlords. Warren Hastings earlier tried to explain landlords from the region or to work without the landlords, but he had to meet his failure. So after his failure, finally, Cornwallis learned the lesson from the failure of Warren Hastings and he modified his system. So this is it. And Mr. Ankur, okay. Everything okay, be fast, even you are slow. All okay? My friends, Ankur, ask one thing. Yesterday, my friends, I am a bit apprehensive. Yesterday I have taught you permanent settlement. Have you developed the conceptual clarity in the topic permanent settlement? Please inform me, be fast. Have you developed your conceptual clarity in the topic permanent settlement? आपने परमानेंट सेटलमेंट वाले टॉपिक में आप कॉन्सेप्चुअली क्लियर हुए या कहीं ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन है? माय क्वेश्चन, बी फास्ट, बी फास्ट माय फ्रेंड्स. You know है, please, who is no, ask me the question. Once again, I am going to repeat the permanent settlement. If you people will tell, who has just spoken no. अब just in Bengal, that is the plot of land. This is landlord. There is 1,000 bihaj of land. Okay? So 1,000 bihaj of land. This is 200 bihaj of land. 200 bihaj. Okay? 200 bihaj of land. And this is 800 bihaj of land. Now you can ask me the question why I have divided this land 1,000 into 200 bihaj. Bihaj क्या होता है पता है? और 800 में क्यों बांटा है, क्यों डिवाइड किया है? Actually this landlord was normally जो landlord होते थे वो खुद कल्टिवेटर होते थे, उनके अपने भी लैंड होते थे. 200 bihaj of land belong to themselves, or to the landlord. And 800 bihaj, the free periods were earlier doing cultivation. During Mughal period or during pre-British period, actually the landlord was simply the collector of tax. And it is not clearly defined who was the master of land. But Lord Cornwallis, with a single stroke of pen, he converted the whole 1,000 bihaj of land as the personal land of the landlord. Landlord was declared to be the master of the land. And peasants who had earlier worked as the free peasant since the time immemorial, so they were converted into tenants at will. मतलब जो पीजेंट्स पहले खेती करते आ रहे थे एग्रीकल्चर, वो सब हो गए अब मतलब टेनेंट्स एट वी, मतलब अभी ना सबऑर्डिनेट पीजेंट हो गए, वो लैंडलॉर्ड अब वो मास्टर ऑफ लैंड नहीं. कि जानबूझ के किया गया कि जो जमींदार है, सरकार ने डायरेक्ट जमींदार से लैंड उनका सेटलमेंट किया और ऊपर से क्या किया कि जो भी कलेक्टिव जिसको कम्युनिटी लैंड का जो पेरेंट लैंड है, पास्टर लैंड है, इरिगेशन लैंड है, इस सबको लैंडलॉर्ड के पर्सनल ऑनरशिप में डाल दिया। तो एजेंट्स को तो बहुत वीक कर दिया ना, यू कैन रियली अंडरस्टैंड। अब उसका इंटरेस्ट ब्रिटिश कंपनी का ये था, इससे हमको रेवेन्यू टाइम पर मिलता रहेगा, इसलिए उसने क्या किया, तो 1789 और 90 के ईयर की जो कलेक्शन हुआ, उस कलेक्शन में 90% फिक्स कर दिया गवर्नमेंट को और 10% लैंडलॉर्ड को। लेकिन जस्ट ट्राई टू मेक अ डिफरेंशिएशन बिटवीन द टू। The amount of the government has been fixed forever. There will be no change. Till 1954, when Nehru's government had to make an abolition of zamindari. But in 10% was for the landlord, but landlord was having the freedom because landlord was given the right. In future, whether through the enhancement of tax or through the extension of agriculture, the income would be enhanced. Enhanced income had to go to the landlord. अब कहोगे इसके पीछे ब्रिटिश का स्वार्थ क्या था, क्या इंटरेस्ट था? इसके पीछे ब्रिटिश का इंटरेस्ट क्या था कि लैंडलॉर्ड को जब एग्रीकल्चर का प्रॉफिट दिखेगा तो एग्रीकल्चर में इन्वेस्ट करेगा, और एग्रीकल्चर में इन्वेस्ट करेगा तो उसे एग्रीकल्चर एक्सपेंड करेगा एंड एग्रीरियन प्रोडक्ट्स वेयर द मर्चेंटाइल गुड्स एज वेल, दे वर बेसिकली एक्सपोर्टेबल गुड्स, सो द ब्रिटिश कंपनी कुड कलेक्ट अ लार्ज नंबर ऑफ एक्सपोर्टेबल गुड्स फॉर कैरिंग इट्स ट्रेड। इट इज बेनिफिशियल फॉर द ब्रिटिश कंपनी, यही उनका मोटिव था। इट इज द सम टोटल ऑफ द परमानेंट एंड एज इट वाज फिक्स्ड परमानेंटली फॉर द लैंडलॉर्ड, दैट्स व्हाई इट वाज कॉल्ड परमानेंट सेटलमेंट। माय स्टूडेंट्स, आर यू क्लियर नाउ? फॉर एनी कंफ्यूजन प्लीज बी फास्ट। I myself have taken Sophia, it's 9 number. For example, you might have solved a math in class 8th 9th. Your teacher is taking amount, for example, that this is 100 rupees. मतलब आप लिखते होगे माना कि रुपये 100 रुपये, तो likewise it's my amount. Maybe in 1000 it is creating inconvenience for you. You can use the term 10,000 because of land, 50,000 because of land, 5,000 because of land, whatever you want. It's my amount. Community land, peasants were collectively using this land. This is the lifeblood of the rural life. This is the lifeblood of the rural living. Because pasture land, the pigeons used to actually, the animals would be grazing the land. There is no grazing place now. Irrigation land, they used to provide irrigation to their own land. पोखरा तालाब जिसको बोलते हैं। लॉर्ड कॉर्नवालिस क्या पूछा ये मैं very unique question, very unusual question in this. But I have just taught you the reforms of Lord Cornwallis, and it was in course of teaching you the reforms of Lord Cornwallis. I have mentioned about permanent settlement, but Mehak, you are asking me the question, who established the permanent settlement? This is really amazing for me. Have you not noticed it? The reforms have been done by Lord Cornwallis. Maratha Alivardi Khan. Nandita, actually this is another story, because you people are making a study of history from the general studies point of view. So that's why I have avoided the story of this Alivardi Khan and Maratha. Actually here, my friends, here I have to inform you, the Nawab of Bengal, among the Nawab of Bengal, who has been much tormented by Maratha brigades or Maratha invasion. So this Nawab was Nawab Alivardi Khan. And Marathas tormented him so much so, through continuous invasions, he finally did some treaty with Marathas, and then he became ready for giving 12 lakh rupees per annum to Marathas as Chaud. And apart from that, he submitted the region of Odisha to Marathas, because Bengal at that time consisted of 3 states, 3 regions: Bengal proper, Bihar and Odisha. So Alivardi Khan submitted Odisha to Marathas along with 12 lakhs rupees as the amount of Chaud. So Nandita, this was the understanding between Alivardi Khan and Marathas. I think your question may be answered. Actually, at that time, the pigeons were not having the consciousness. They were not enlightened enough. They were not having a sense of unity. There were so much suppressed elements in society. Suppose you can see, who has read this question? I mean, even the question can persist in your mind at that time, when the untouchability was being practiced during ancient period, medieval period, and until today. So why didn't during ancient period the untouchables were making revolt against Savarna? Because they were suppressed. They were not having a sense of protest at that time. So that's why. Okay. So my friends, this is all about the different regions. Now, I have to teach you the Regulating Act. The Regulating Act 1773. Okay? What were the important provisions? It was so called. Why? Why the Regulating Act was introduced in 1773? My friends, British East India Company was a chartered company, you know. And it was earlier Queen Elizabeth and then James I who has given the charter of the trade monopoly of the British company trading to the east. But gradually, after the Battle of Plassey and Buxar, the British company was transferred from a mercantile company to a political entity. So now, it was owning the vast resources of India. So there was a group of Britishers at London which was making a point of objection to the new situation. And some Britishers were raising the issue: the prosperous region like India should not be left at the mercy of merely a company. मतलब लंदन में बहुत सारे ब्रिटिशर्स ऐसे थे जो बार बार इस प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे थे और कह रहे थे कि इंडिया जैसे प्रॉस्पेरस रीजन को महज एक कंपनी की कृपा पर नहीं छोड़ा जा सकता. सेकेंड वन, There was a lobby was prepared there, and that was, you can say, free traders. So they were making a point of objection against the monopoly trade of the British East India Company in India. Third one point was that most of the British officers who had been working in India, they were very corrupt officers. So whenever they were returning from India, they were carrying with them the vast amount of wealth. So as they were carrying the vast amount of wealth, so they were actually despised and hated by the Britishers at London. Can you imagine that the Robert Clive and Warren Hastings were, you can say, so in derogative terms, they were addressed as Nawaboj. But derogatively, the people were addressing them Nawaboj because they were just like the Nawabs of Bengal, they were carrying the vast wealth. Some Britishers at London were even worried about the fact that if they were bringing such a vast amount of wealth from India, they might purchase the members of parliament in London, and they could even subvert the whole parliamentary process in Britain. So there was a danger of the subversion of the parliamentary process of Britain as well. These are the background. In the meantime, in 1772, the British company was undergoing a phase of a great economic loss. The British company made an apply for loan to the British Parliament. It gave Parliament an occasion to intervene into the internal matter of the company. Because the question arose, on the one hand, the company officers are so rich, they are carrying such a vast wealth from India to London, while company itself is poor. Why such a coincidence? मतलब कहना था कि भाई एक तरफ ऑफिसर्स हैं जो बंडल बैग के बैग वहां से रिच धान लेकर आते हैं और कंपनी अप्लाई कर रही है लोन के लिए ऐसा क्यों? It created the background for this so-called regulating act of 1773. Now we have to observe the provisions. One provision is company had to place its economic, financial and military account and report to the parliament every year. And per annum. But every year the Indian company was liable to submit its financial, economic and military account to the British Parliament. And the British Parliament had to supervise. It is the first one provision and very important provision. So that's why whenever you find even question in prelims, when did the British company make the intervention, when the British Parliament made the intervention in the internal matter of British company for the first time, they will choose the choice, they will choose the option that is Regulating Act. Second one. Governor of Bengal was called Governor General. Why? Because now Governor of Bengal was given the right to supervise even the affairs at Madras and Bombay. So now this governor was characterized as the Governor General. It was a new nomenclature for the governor. Apart from that, the Governor General, he had to be assisted by a four-member council. He had to be assisted by a four-member council. Earlier mentioned, if the Governor General had to take some decision, the decision would be taken on the basis of the majority votes. At least there should be 3 votes in favor, including Governor General. Total membership is 5. So Governor General was required at least the support of 2 members in order to make any proceedings in this council. So in this way, you can see this is the 4-member council, and for the first time, because Warren Hastings was the first Governor General. So during his period, even the name of the 4 earlier councillors have been mentioned in the act, and that is Francis, Clavering, Barwick, and Monson. But you have to ignore the name. You cannot recollect the name, and there is no use of recollecting the name. They are the 4-member council. Then third one, the number of board of directors which was carrying the administration of the British company. That was representing the management of the British company. The number of board of directors would have been increased from 18 to 24. The number of directors, not board of directors, sorry. The number of directors would have been, in court of directors, the total number of directors would have been increased from 18 to 24. And last but not the least, formation of a Supreme Court Supreme Court at Calcutta. It was on the basis of Regulating Act. In Supreme Court of Calcutta, the legal trial had to be made on the basis of British law. But simultaneously, you find at the same time, at Sadar Diwani and Sadar Nijamat Adalat at Calcutta, it was the Indian laws which were prevailing. So the Supreme Court was constituted exclusively for carrying the trial against British and Europeans, because the British and Europeans could not have been given the trial on the basis of the so-called barbarous laws of India, because in the view of the British, the Indian laws were barbarous. So they were not making, and they were not in a mood to make the British officers and Europeans to be tried under the so-called barbarous laws. So that's why they created a separate court like the Supreme Court, where the English laws were prevailing. The people of Calcutta could have seek the trial from the Supreme Court, and if the people from outside of Calcutta are equally to bring the matter to the Supreme Court, so they needed the prior permission from the Supreme Court. In this way, you can see the Supreme Court was formed. So these are the provisions of the Regulating Act. There is no issue this is not important from male's point of view. This is important for you from female's point of view. These are the 4 provisions. Now we can say, but this method didn't become successful. In 1784, now we have to observe on Pitt's India Act. Pitt's India Act. Pitt's India Act in 1784. Now what is this act I have to make you clear? Actually, Pitt's India Act. Pitts was the Prime Minister. So what you know as the Pitt's India Act is was, that is the Prime Minister who was just, took initiative in this act. And in 1784, keep one thing in your mind. When Pitt's India Act was legislated and came into force, at that time, Britain already lost America. So now Britain was very serious about India now. It has to make better control over India. Later, it was bitterly realized that this method of supervision of the British company by the Parliament didn't work, because the Parliament was supposed to submit before the British company its financial, economic and military account per annum. So Parliament could, so you can say, the British company could have created a fake account, and the Parliament was not having any other means to scrutinize it, which was a major barrier. So now it is believed that this Regulating Act will not work. In Pitt's India Act, it went a step further. In what way a step further, that's the first one. It will not simply, but there was the creation of a board of control. And this board of control consisted of 6 members of the parliament, and the members of the board of control were put on par with the cabinet ministers. So they were very powerful. And board of control was given the right to supervise the affairs of the British companies side by side court of directors. Because court of directors was the internal mandate. So court of directors was representing the interest of the British company, but board of control was representing the interest of the British parliament. Total, you can say that there were 6 members in the board of control. There were 6 members, and the 6-member board of control was created, and it was given the exclusive duty to supervise the affairs of the company. In one sense, the dual control was established on the company. One controlled by its own management, that was board of directors, and another controlled by the management of the British parliament. So this was the one factor. Second one factor by management. In the Regulating Act, there was one problem. The Governor General had to be assisted by the 4 members, but at that time the Warren Hastings found a lot of challenges, and challenge was that his own council members were not going to accept his authority. And there were total 5 members, including Governor General, and 4 members. So Governor General needed the support of at least 2 members to making any proposal move on. So it created a lot of challenges for the Governor General, and here I have been following, particularly with one member, that was Francis. So Warren Hastings picked up the quarrel and developed a personal enmity. And enmity between Francis and Warren Hastings even reached up to the point they both did a duel fighting against each other. So this created apprehension even in the parliament. So that's why, at the persistent request from the side of the Warren Hastings in Pitt's India Act, the total number of the membership in council, now it was converted into 3-member council. In place of 4-member council, 3-member council. Why 3-member council? So now Governor General could have been a bit in beneficial position. In what? The way that, suppose even a single member is along with Governor General. So there would be the division in the council 2 by 2, 2 and 2. Means there would be a tie. And in case of the tie, the Governor General would be given Governor General was given the right to cast another vote. That is called casting vote. So the Governor General would have been cast another vote, and then 3 votes in favor of Governor General. So tie would have been broken, and Governor General would have moved his proposal. So once again I am repeating, you may be a bit confused. Suppose there are 3 members, and Governor General, 1 member will give support to Governor General. There will be 2 and 2 tie, and then Governor General got the right to vote second time as a casting vote. Now he can move his proposal. At that time, Warren Hastings demanded, please give me the right to overrule the veto of the council. But Parliament didn't give him the right to overrule the veto of the council. But at least some relief was given. And the third one was, once again it was emphasized, if Bengal would have been supervised, Madras and Bombay in greater manner. It was for the fact, you may very well recall, in First Anglo-Maratha War, when Warren Hastings sent Colonel Upton to do some sort of mediation between the Marathas and Bombay officers, you may recall the fact I have discussed with you. But Bombay officers the Bombay officers very arrogantly and completely defied the order of Governor General. So keeping this incident into the mind, then the British finally, British Parliament decided to once again the Governor General of Bengal should be given the right to do the better supervision of Madras and Goa. So that's why we could emphasize. So there were three provisions in British India. My friends, so the first part, that is the mercantile phase of colonization, is over now. And can I expect that you people are clear or any confusion? Mr. Ankur is informed. It is a single one provision. Single one provision was that in a special condition, the Governor General could have been given the right to overrule the veto. So in Act of 1781 is not too much important. And in Act of 1786 is also not much important, because in 1786 Act, when Lord Cornwallis came as the Governor General of India, he has given the, you can say, prior condition. Condition was that I will going to take the charge of the Governor General of Bengal only in the condition that I will be given the power to overrule the veto of the Council. So in the Act of 1786, Lord Cornwallis was given the temporary right to overrule the veto. Bill of Rights is not, is a wrong one. Bill of Rights is the word, but Bill of Rights is not a word. This is a Bill of Rights. Is the Bill of Rights, actually that is the British Parliament in 1689. After British Abolition, British Parliament introduced a Bill of Rights, but Bill of Rights, I don't know why this is. Bill of Rights is no longer existing. So please take your question clear. Bill of Rights does not exist. राष्ट्रीय बोर्ड कहते हैं निर्णायक बोर्ड in Hindi. You understand Hindi? Some of you even understand Hindi. अगर बीच बीच में हिंदी बोल दूं तो आपको कंफर्टेबल होगा. Please tell me. What do they say? तो कास्टिंग वोट कहते हैं निर्णायक वोट. निर्णायक वोट में क्या होता है कि जैसे जब अगर दो पार्टी में वोटिंग में टाई हो जाता है और जब डिसीजन नहीं लिया जा सकता है, तो अंत में कोई एक उसमें कास्टिंग वोट डाल देता है. कास्टिंग वोट डालने का मतलब हुआ अब वह वोट फाइनल हो जाएगा. तो कास्टिंग वोट का मतलब हुआ हिंदी में निर्णायक वोट. क्या बोल रहे हैं पूरे लोग? तो बीच बीच में हिंदी भी बोल दूंगा जहां मुझे ऐसा लगेगा कि आपको हिंदी की जरूरत है. बिकॉज मेनी ऑफ यू आर फ्रॉम साउथ इंडिया एंड माय स्टूडेंट्स, इफ एनीवन इज ऑफेंडेड विथ हिंदी, प्लीज मेक मी क्लियर, बिकॉज आई एम सिंपली गिविंग द सपोर्ट इन हिंदी. अदरवाइज आई विल डू एवरीथिंग इन इंग्लिश. So at least can I expect that no one will be offended whenever I will use
Garik, come on.
From time to time? Please make me clear. Good. I have raised the question. You will be clear. Will anybody be offended whenever I will use the Hindi words? So that I will come to know what is the actual truth on my, you can say, app. No problem. तो ठीक है, बीच बीच में मैं हिंदी वर्ड्स बोल दूंगा. मैं इसीलिए नहीं बोलता था कि कहीं कुछ लोग जिनको इंग्लिश में है तो एक दो बातें इंग्लिश में बोल दूंगा, बीच में कहीं कहीं मैं हिंदी में बोल दूंगा. हाँ, यस अंकुर. देखो, बोर्ड ऑफ कंट्रोल का काम अंकित होता था. जैसे बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स ने सुपरवाइज किया, तो बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स तो घर के अंदर की बात थी. बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स तो चीजों को कवर करेगा क्योंकि तो कंपनी के इंटरेस्ट में काम करता था. और बोर्ड ऑफ कंट्रोल लंदन में काम करता था, लेकिन आता इंडिया नहीं था. लेकिन हर जगह वो कंपनी पर नजर रखता था. इफ कंपनी वाज गोइंग टू टेक एनी स्टेप, बोर्ड ऑफ कंट्रोल विल सुपरवाइज इट. बोर्ड ऑफ कंट्रोल would bring the veto. Board of control sometimes going to check the governor general in Bengal. Board of control would directly pass an order to the governor general that you have to do this thing or you have not to do this thing. So in this way, board of control used to make an intervention into the matter of the company. The board of control time to time intervene करता था और जब भी उसको जरूरत ऐसी महसूस होती थी तो वो ऑर्डर पास करता था, किसी चीज को रोक के तब तय करवाता था. रेगुलेटिंग एक्ट का तो मतलब होता है, अगर टर्म सीट देखोगे तो रेगुलेशन का मतलब होता है नियंत्रण. तो रेगुलेटिंग एक्ट का मतलब हुआ नियंत्रणकारी एक्ट. तो कंपनी को उनके कार्य करने में नियंत्रण लगाए. ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंट का नियंत्रण जब स्थापित हुआ, when the British Parliament was going to put a control over the activity of the British company, so then it came to be known as regulating act because it is just a regulation. Regulation मतलब नियंत्रण और विनियम मतलब कि कंपनी हैज टू बी रेगुलेटेड. The company has to work according to the rules. जोतेदार में कल्टीवेटर, अच्छा जोतेदार और इशू हैड गॉन थ्रू क्लास 12 एनसीईआरटी बुक. Who is issue? Who? I am asking one question from this, so please issue reply my question. Have you gone through NCERT book of class 12, the new NCERT book of class 12? Am I right? Have you gone through? You find the term jotedar there in class 12 NCERT book. Am I right? Yes. Jotedar was the rich peasant, and actually here you find some of the historians are giving the view in the rural areas the landlord was not actually enjoying the actual power, or landlord was not enjoying the actual power. The actual power was being enjoyed by the rich peasants who were jotedars. उन्हीं को जोतेदार कहा जाता है. वो कहते हैं कि भाई जो कंट्री साइड है उसमें रिच पीजेंट्स जो जोतेदार थे वही एक्चुअल पावर रखते थे और वहां पर लैंडलॉर्ड्स को पावर नहीं था, बल्कि जो जोतेदार होते थे जो धनी किसान थे उन्हीं के पास शक्ति होती. ये बोलते हैं. Actually, whenever the governor general had to take some decision, so decision had to be taken collectively with the support of the members of the council. And council was the advisory council. The council would have put a check over the arrogance of the governor general, the arbitrary decision of the governor general. तो council उसके पीछे governor general के साथ लगाया गया था कि governor general मनमानी ना करे. लेकिन उसमें council governor general को बात बात पर रोकती थी. इस कारण से governor general offended हो जाता था. देखो वो तो उनके घर के अंदर की बात थी ना पूजा. एक्चुअली पार्लियामेंट उनको रोकता था और कंपनी को रोकता था. मतलब ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंट गवर्नमेंट था वो ब्रिटेन के इंटरेस्ट को रिप्रेजेंट करता, तो अपने इंटरेस्ट को रिप्रेजेंट नहीं करता था। उनका सिर्फ कहना यह था कि इंडिया को मैं अकेले एक कंपनी को क्यों खाने दूंगा, ब्रिटिश लोगों को और ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों को फायदा मिलना चाहिए इंडिया। तो in fact the British Parliament was not working in our favor. The British Parliament was basically working in the favor of the Britishers. And British Parliament just tried to establish that the prosperous region like India should not be left at the mercy of merely a trading company. So the British Parliament was not doing our job; they are doing their own job. No, Governor General was the company's employee. Board of Directors was employing Governor General. Board of Control in British Parliament was simply supervisor. Governor General was being appointed by the Board of Directors, and Board of Directors was the company's management. The Parliament was simply supervised the activity of the company. Charter Act was basically that was given by the Parliament. Charter Act was actually, you will come to know Charter Act from 1813 onwards. Charter was an ordinance which existed for a definite period, for 20 years. For example, you can say the British company was given the charter of ruling India for 20 years, between 1813 to 1833. Once again in 1833 it was given a charter, and this charter was for 20 years. The charter में मतलब ये होता है कि आपको एक वो आदेश देंगे, उस आदेश में टाइम पीरियड मेंशन होगा कि आप इतने समय तक ये काम कर सकते हैं। जैसे ब्रिटिश कंपनी को अगर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन देखना है तो 20 years तक देखना है, इसी को चार्टर। उसके पहले तो मैंने ऑक्सनिंग सिस्टम बताया था, फार्मिंग सिस्टम। आई मेंशन्ड अबाउट फार्मिंग सिस्टम ऑफ फॉरेन इंडस्ट्रीज। माय फ्रेंड्स, व्हेनेवर आई एम टीचिंग यू, आई एम ऑलवेज ट्राइंग टू डेवलप सम सॉर्ट ऑफ कनेक्टिविटी। तो प्लीज जस्ट ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस पॉइंट। कौन किनका है? गॉट इट? एक्चुअली earlier than permanent settlement, already one has introduced the farming system. Farming मतलब है to give the right to collection of revenue to the highest bidder. मतलब जो सबसे अधिक बोली लगाते थे उनको राजस्व को वसूल करने का राइट मिला था। So that is called farming system. In one sense, you can say actually I will find two terms. One is the accountant, another is controller and auditor general. एक होता है लेखपाल, दूसरा होता है लेखा परीक्षक। So basically here he was a लेखा परीक्षक, मतलब just like supervisor. As board of control, who asked this question? Tejaswini. So Tejaswini actually basically board of control was a supervisor. So it was having the supervisory power, but the company was not run by the board of control. It was being run by board of directors. It was company's own management. Who were appointed by the board of directors. Board of directors appointed the governor general, and board of directors used to be appointed with the members of the council. Question is not clear. I could not understand what Pogal just tried to ask. Please clarify your question. Agriculture, how could agriculture be boosted? Peasants were just, you can say, converted into peasants at will. They were became just like the slaves. So it was not going to boost the agriculture. And particularly, the landlord didn't prove, the progressive landlords, they could not take interest into investing in agriculture. The landlords थे, वो progressive नहीं सिद्ध हो सकते, और उन्होंने agriculture में investment किया ही नहीं। और peasants की तो इकोनॉमी इतनी खराब हो गई, peasants तो agriculture कैसे डेवलप करेगा? यही तो मैं कर रहा हूँ। लॉर्ड कॉर्नवालिस का एक ट्रूली ऑब्जेक्टिव पूरा हुआ ही नहीं, जितना सोचा था सब उसका फियास्को हो गया। परमानेंट सेटलमेंट डिडंट वर्क इन द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ द ब्रिटिश, व्हिच हैड अर्लियर बीन ordained by लॉर्ड कॉर्नवालिस, बट इट प्रूव्ड रॉन्ग। इसका कोई रिलेवेंस नहीं है। So many times से किया मुर्शिदाबाद, that was the Nawab's capital.
गरीब कमों ने
and after Calcutta directly British Fort William was Calcutta, it was transferred to Delhi. बच्चे तुम लोग अब रेलिवेंट क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछ रहे हो, रेलिवेंट क्वेश्चन पूछो और कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्वेश्चन पूछो। मुझे डर है कि कहीं फैक्ट्स में उलझते हुए रह जाओगे, और जो चेंजिंग में हिस्ट्री का समझाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ, कहीं पता नहीं, मुझे डर है कि कहीं कॉन्सेप्ट से तुम लोग डाइवर्ट न कर लो। My friends, I am suggesting you concentrate over conceptual part, and actually conceptual part is the change. I am once again repeating the change. Actually, you have covered the first part of colonialism. Your attention should be to what was the basic objective and how did the basic objective was going to affect the political, administrative, social, and cultural structure. And today, my friends, I have sent you other study material. You might have observed there. Today, I have sent you another study material, and where? This one. Where is the? My friends, this question you people have to do. This was in UPSC means in often, but it can be useful for your studies as well. To what extent can it be justified that if Robert Clive was the founder of the British Empire in India, this team should be credited for organizing the British administration? So, my friends, you have to go through this question. Now, today you might have received this study material. You have moved from mercantile phase to industrial phase. In industrial phase, the British objective was likely to change, and the changing British objective had to change all the British policy. Once again, my friends, I have to repeat. If you have to make a study of colonialism, keep one thing in your mind. First thing, the colonialism is basically an economic relation, and it was going to affect the political, administrative, social, and cultural structure as well, or political, social, and cultural structure as well. So, my friends, up to 1813, and one important thing I have to inform you: what is capitalism in Britain? That is colonialism in India. जो ब्रिटेन में पूंजीवाद है वो भारत में उपनिवेशवाद है. So what is capitalism in Britain? Colonialism in India. So here I have to inform you that basically when there was the mercantile phase of capitalism in Britain, there was mercantile phase of colonialism in India. Okay, but now up to the beginning of 19th century, industrial revolution is starting to affect the British society, because industrial revolution actually now the mercantile class, a group of British capitalists emerged at London, Glasgow, Manchester, and many other places, and they started the modern factory system. So there they started the modern factory system. So there was the rise of industrial capitalism. So as there was the rise of industrial capitalism, and British East India Company had been representing the mercantile phase of capitalism. So now clash of interest started between the mercantile interest of capitalism and the mercantile capitalism and industrial capitalism. So, you know, industrial capitalism started to create the pressure over the British Parliament. Why did you give the monopoly of Indian market to a British company? We need a vast Indian market for selling our own products. Because after the rise of modern factory system, the era of mass production started. The British capitalists were in search of a market. मतलब अब क्योंकि प्रोडक्शन बहुत ज्यादा ब्रिटेन में बढ़ गया, तो उनको मार्केट चाहिए था. और इंडिया का मार्केट पर कब्जा करके मोनोपोली ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी बैठा हुआ था. तो इंडस्ट्रियल कैपिटलिस्ट क्लास जस्ट ट्राइड टू क्रिएट अ प्रेशर ओवर द ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंट. But even earlier, there was some pressure over the British Parliament. But here, you know, this British mercantile company used to give some bribe to British Parliament, and the situation could have been manipulated. But this time, the East India Company had to fight against the more powerful economic entity of the time, and that was the industrial capitalist. So they were economically more prosperous and powerful. So they could have given a larger quantity of bribe to British parliamentarians. So parliamentarians just brought a Charter Act of 1813 and abolished the trade monopoly of the British company. To abolish the trade monopoly of the British company in India. Although the trade in China was maintained for some time, and even the tea trade was maintained, but trade monopoly of India was just abolished. So India was open for the market for British manufactured goods. So now the objective now changed according to the new situation. India was converted into the market of British manufactured goods and exporter of raw materials. So this was the basic British objective, and it was going to affect the political policy, the administrative policy, the social policy, the cultural policy. So my students, you people are just requested to make yourself conceptually clear and develop an integrated approach. पहले तुम लोग मर्केंटाइल फेज में चेंज देखा, अब इंडस्ट्रियल फेज में चेंज देखना. जो ब्रॉड आइडिया है उसको मत छोड़ो, क्योंकि आप जो क्वेश्चन पूछते हो तो बड़ा छोटी छोटी चीज, बड़ा फैक्चुअल चीजें पूछते हो, तो मुझे डर लगता है कि कहीं तुम्हारा मेन बिंदु से तुम्हारा अटेंशन ना हट जाए. इसलिए मेन बिंदु इस अटेंशन को मत छोड़ना. वैसे छोटे छोटे क्वेश्चन का मैं जवाब देके आई विल जस्ट ट्राई एट माय बेस्ट टू मेक यू conceptually clear. Mr. Atul, any question? So my students, tomorrow you will go through this study material, take your class, the second field of British colonial industrial phase. You will go through this study material, political policy. This study I will cover up to which point I am making clear. Tomorrow I will cover up to political policy. And if I will have the time, even administrative, but political policy, tomorrow I will cover. So you people, I am giving the homework. Today, tomorrow, you people have to cover the page 92 to, इनका तो पेज अलग हुआ. So you have to cover the political, up to political policy. Up to political policy. So you have to cover this area and this area. Tomorrow I will cover. Okay? Today, can I stop here, my friends? Tomorrow you people have to start. I have already sent to you the study material in advance. And today you people have shown some interest. I could use more words in Hindi. I will try at my best. Because दोनों बोलने में time taking बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाता है. So this is the basic problem. That's why. But I will just give support of Hindi. Okay? Very good. So today, can I stop here, my friends? Very good. To you earlier.